If you're renovating an RV or even thinking about it, you've probably heard the horror stories. Peel and stick falling off, corners lifting, whole sheets sliding after a hot day. RVs flex and they vibrate and they go through big humidity and temperature changes, and those conditions are brutal on adhesives. I'm a furniture refinisher and prep is what I do. So here's the approach I'm using to give this backsplash the best chance of lasting. And it starts before the tiles even go on. I've refinished hundreds of pieces of furniture over the years, but this time I'm taking those same skills on the road, literally. In this RV Renovation Series, I'm priming and painting everything from the walls and cabinets to the refrigerator and adding peel and stick flooring, backsplash, and wallpaper, all with a furniture refinisher's focus on prep and durability. You'll see what worked, what I'd do differently, and how to get great results even in a small space. Hi, I'm Lana, and together, let's make something beautiful, something made for you. Before any tile could go up, the walls needed prep. I removed the outdated wallpaper border and all the sticky adhesive left behind it. Then I cleaned the surface, scuff sanded it, and cleaned it again. Before I paint or install anything peel and stick in this RV, I'm priming the walls. I normally reach for a shellac-based primer, but RV walls are a completely different environment. So for this project, I'm using a bonding primer. The one I chose is designed to grab onto almost any surface: vinyl, laminate, plastic, rubber, you name it. Basically everything you find inside an RV. And because it has more flex than shellac primers, it can move with the wall instead of cracking or lifting. This gives the peel and stick backsplash the best surface to grip onto before it ever touches the wall. I also had to deal with a couple outdated wall outlets, the kind an RV needed 20 years ago, but definitely not anymore. Once the faceplates came off, I was left with some pretty big openings to patch. Here's what I did. I cut small pieces of 1/8 of an inch MDF, slightly smaller than the opening so that they could slide through the hole. Then I taped a flexible strip to the back of each MDF piece. I used cane. You can use anything that's thin, flexible, and sandable for this part. I added glue around the edges of the MDF, slid the whole thing through the hole, and then pulled on the cane from the front so the MDF sat flat against the back of the wall. Once it was tight, I just taped it in place from the front and let the glue dry. When everything was set, I used Bondo to completely rebuild the surface. Bondo fills fast, and it gives you a seamless patch, and it flexes a little bit. After the Bondo had dried, I sanded it flush with my orbital sander. And I cut those cane strips off as well and sanded that flat. The repair blended right into the rest of the wall, perfectly ready for tile. For this project, I'm using Smart Tiles. They're a Canadian-made peel and stick tile with lots of different options to choose from. They're lightweight, easy to cut, and water and heat resistant, which is perfect for RV kitchens and bathrooms where things get warm and humid. I used a cutting mat, a sharp blade, and a straight edge for the long cuts, and scissors for the smaller edges and corners. Once each piece was trimmed, I pressed it firmly into place and continued working my way across the wall. I could tell right away I was getting really good adhesion. Everything was sticking really well to the primed surface, but if I needed to reposition things, it wasn't a problem at all. So even though the installation went quite smoothly in terms of the tiles and being able to cut them, there's a few things I'd change if I were to do it again. First, I'd work bottom to top, not side to side. That would keep the bottom row aligned and keep everything from drifting slightly downward, which is what happened to me. I'd also move consistently in one direction, left to right or right to left. For some reason, I decided to do both, and finding a spot to meet was not the most straightforward. The other thing I would do is see if you can loosen the frame around the window so that you can slide the tiles in behind it rather than trying to get a perfect cut around it. I was able to take these pieces off and sort of line them back up, and some of them I did replace. To clean up the edge, I added a peel and stick molding trim. It hides that raw tile edge and gives the backsplash a much more finished and intentional look. So here's where we started. Plain walls, patched openings, a whole lot of prep, the key being that bonding primer. And here's how it looks now. Fresh, modern, bright, and completely transformed with some prep and some peel and stick.
Oh, I broke it. And I broke that one too.
This backsplash is actually one of 3 peel and stick projects in this RV. I've also installed peel and stick flooring and peel and stick wallpaper in the bathroom, all using the same prep system you saw today. Those videos are coming up next in the series. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you don't want to miss any more videos in this RV renovation series or any of my furniture makeovers.